That's my dad's tractor back behind me, so he's out working this morning. So I grew up in a small town called Waxhaw, North Carolina, which is probably about 7 or 8 miles south of Charlotte. And we grew up out in the country, riding horses, raising chickens, all sorts of fun stuff growing up as a kid. I had a lot of boys in the neighborhood. There weren't many girls to play with, so I grew up as kind of a prissy tomboy. I thought boy toys were a lot more fun than dolls and things like that. But I grew up in a very wonderful family. My parents were great, and everybody knew everybody that lived on the road. And the road was a few miles long, but it was way out in the country back then. Growing up in the country, we didn't have very much money, but our swimming pools were local ponds, and we learned how to frog gig and ride dirt bikes and just fun stuff like that. Played in the creeks a lot. It was very safe back then. We would be gone for hours at a time, and our parents weren't really worried about us. When we needed to come home for dinner, they would either ring a big bell or my dad would whistle. So we knew it was time to get home. My parents and probably my middle school. Well, back then we didn't have middle school. It was kindergarten through the 8th grade, but Frances Davis was our principal. And she was probably the most influential person in my life because she taught us to go after the things that we loved, and she encouraged us to do our best at everything. So I would definitely say she was probably one of the most influential people in my life, along with my parents. Having hobbies as a kid when you're not really wealthy, you have to kind of create things to do. So most of our hobbies were outside, playing in the dirt, riding dirt bikes, riding bicycles, mini bikes back then. Crafts, I loved crafts and things like that. But probably one of the things I still do that I've always loved is dancing. So I still dance today, even now. Yeah, so my current occupation is I'm a licensed real estate broker. I specialize in land. I still do land deals with mostly national and regional builders and developers, and I absolutely love it. My typical day is researching land that could potentially become a development for a national or regional builder. That's my typical day, and just researching and obviously now promoting my book and my courses is takes up most of my time because my kids are they're young adults, but they're grown and gone now. So my focus is strictly real estate. The way I got started in real estate, my kids were very young. I was pregnant with my daughter at the time, and I got my real estate license was 8 months pregnant when I passed the course, which was very challenging. But I knew that I wanted more flexibility in my life, but still have an income because we didn't have much money when I was married, and so I needed to have a career that I could still be a stay-at-home mom and have the flexibility, but still make an income. And that's really how I got started in the industry, and I love it. Mainly, the inspiration was being able to have a career that allowed you the flexibility, of course, but that I could help people. I've always loved selling, and I've always loved helping people. So it was really a combination of a lot of things that inspired me to get into the real estate field. Mostly, it was necessity. So. my daughter had already been born, and had already started selling real estate for a real estate firm, and we were going in showing houses. I didn't realize there were so many different opportunities in real estate, and so I was, of course, going into the residential part of real estate to start with. And it was very hard because I was changing diapers in the back of an old minivan, and I was always working on someone else's schedule, which was super hard for me. So when I got an opportunity to sell a piece of land, which happened to be in a lot in a neighborhood, I realized that it was so much easier on me and my family if I could focus on land. So that was really the turning point for me, was realizing, wow, there's another opportunity or another way to work in the real estate industry, still make money, but still have the flexibility that it doesn't interrupt your family schedule and things like that. And that was probably it, because then I started looking for vacant lots and vacant land to sell, and got into it that way and absolutely loved it. So that was probably the turning point of my career. And then after that, I started wanting to do larger land deals and stuff, and I got a mentor. I ran across a person that could help me, and they mentored me through this process. And it took a couple of years to break into the larger tract land sales, because it's mostly, I would say, 99.9% men. So being a female in this, I really had to learn fast and work really hard to establish myself and my credibilities in the land part of real estate. Probably the largest challenge that I faced starting out in the land industry is being a female, like I just spoke about. But learning the research and how to research on my own. I had a mentor, but there were still so many other areas that we needed to learn, that there was not like a specific class you could take on teaching you how to research property. So that was a big deal for me, is learning how to teach myself and what to find and where to find it and that sort of thing. So I've had quite a few accomplishments that I'm super proud of. Don't take for granted, but obviously writing my first book, 10 Things You Need to Know About Land, and developing an online course, a continuing education course for North Carolina real estate agents, was huge. And in the course, I've won a state award, the best online course for 2023, and then in 2024 I won the national best online course for the year, which were huge accomplishments in my life. And just being able to help people has been a huge accomplishment for me, because I love helping people and I love teaching them what they don't know about property, and where to find the information, because it can have a catastrophic outcome if you don't know what to research. You could buy a piece of property that has all kinds of issues, but you don't know what to look for. So the accomplishment, I guess my biggest accomplishment, is being able to help other agents and people in general to make good decisions in purchasing property, whether it has a house on it or not. Making that decision and uncovering the issues that they need to overcome, which some of them are not that bad, but some of them can be catastrophic, like I said. So that's probably some of the biggest accomplishments for me in this industry. A lot of projects that I've worked on over the years, and seeing developments turn into neighborhoods for people to go live, is obviously a wonderful experience for me. But probably my biggest accomplishment that I've been able to reach most people is my book, 10 Things You Need to Know About Land. But this was written for real estate agents, but the general public started showing up in my in-person classes. So then I realized there was another opportunity there for me to even reach a larger or more vast audience to help them as well. So that's probably something that I'm super proud of the most. Key lessons is being transparent, not being greedy, looking at the best way you can help your clients or friends or whoever to make a good decision on purchasing something, not looking at it as how much money I'm going to make. It's, are you helping them to make the best decision for them in their situation? So those are big lessons to learn. If you can truly have transparency and be honest about what you're helping someone do, and not have a greed factor in there, that's huge. How do I balance my professional life with my personal life? Well, now that my kids are grown and gone, my main focus obviously is to help the public and real estate agents be better agents to serve the general public, and help the general public to make better decisions. And so balancing my personal life and my work life is challenging right now because I have so many projects going on. But I think staying grounded in God is the key factor for me, knowing that my relationship is intact with Him and that He's guiding my path, and making time for personal things like spending time with your family, or my parents who are both still alive at the filming of this, and just trying to be a good mom still to my parents and give them good adult advice. God, He's my main guide for everything in my life, and just staying on track and making sure that you're doing the best job you can for someone else that you're helping, and also helping to develop better courses, better books, better information for people to learn from. Greatest strengths and weaknesses. Definitely I have a love for people and helping people. That is the huge strength. And not being afraid to talk to anyone, because we're all just people. We all put our pants on the same way, and you never know what's going on in someone's life, so we can't assume that someone doesn't like your information or thing. You just don't know what kind of day someone's having. So just a strength would be just to be able to read people a little bit better and understand that things are not personal towards you, even though it could seem that way at times. Weaknesses, I have a weakness for helping people. I have a weakness for trusting people that I probably shouldn't, or situations that I should be more cautious of. So that would probably be my weakness, I would say, if I have one. Oh gosh, thank you for asking. Yes, I do have a new project. I have a new book coming out titled How to Buy, Sell, and Profit with Land. And it's teaching you all, this is for the general public. This book was birthed from my first book, because I realized that everybody needs this information, whether you own a home or whether you own just a vacant piece of property or you've inherited things. Everybody needs to learn this, because it's such great information. And so what I did was I'm working on this project. It's soon to be released. This is 2024. We're going to be releasing it probably in September of 2024, so I'm not really sure when this taping is going to take place. But my new book is going to be for everyone, anyone and everyone. That's the project. And then after that, we're going to do it on Audible, of course, because I think it's important to be able to have the book and listen to it at the same time, because you'll absorb the information better. And then following that, we're going to be developing an online course for the general public. So I'm pretty busy the next little while. So I have a lot of projects going on, and I'm still doing my general brokerage, working with developers and builders. So have a full life right now with a lot of projects. The best advice I could give someone starting in land is, do not be discouraged by other people saying it's too complicated, it's too hard, you don't want to mess with it. That's nonsense. It's just like anything else. There's a learning curve that you have to go through when you're learning anything. So don't be discouraged, and don't let people lead you away from that. Always make sure that you are doing a your what make sure that you're following your heart's desires and everything you want to do. Okay, make sure that you're going to stay on track. That's my dad again on his little ATV. Make sure that you're following your heart and you do not let people discourage you when you want to get into a different part of real estate or anything in your life. You make sure that you follow your desire, and you research and you learn everything you can. Look for all avenues of knowledge that will help you, and don't get discouraged. That's the best advice I could give, because I can't tell you how many times in my career, I was told I shouldn't write this book, that I shouldn't do that. I did it. I was told that you shouldn't mess with land. Let the guys do that. I did it, and I've been very successful in all these areas, and I would highly encourage you, don't let people discourage you. Follow your desires. You can do whatever you want to do in your life as long as you're willing to put the work in. How do I stay motivated and inspired in my work? I've always been self-motivated my whole life, but when you have the desire to help others, it's huge motivation. If you are not a self-centered person, and if you are truly have a heart for helping others, it's a huge motivation. You have to stay healthy, you have to eat right, but mostly you have to have your faith right with God. And that motivates me. It's like every day he's telling me, all right, you've got a big project to do. We're going to help others today. How can you help others? Because I can't tell you the satisfaction that I get from helping others. And when people come back and say, wow, that was great information, or, that one little tip you gave me helped me with this other project over here. And I tell you, it warms my heart, and it brings tears to my eyes sometimes when you know that you've actually helped other people. It's a huge motivator. So that's how I stay motivated.